Hi, this is Dick McDonald again. This is the second video in our Rise Up America series. This video will show Americans how politicians keep so many ordinary Americans poor and unable to reach financial independence, and what you can do about it. Now, in every election season, politicians and political parties promise the American people that they and they alone can deliver the American dream. And as every American knows, that promise is never kept. This election season, we have a gifted speaker named Barack Obama, who, like many who have preceded him, promises to deliver the American dream to those left behind. There's only one problem. Barack Obama's methods to deliver that dream will do exactly the opposite. It will keep ordinary Americans poor and dependent on Washington for handouts that don't make them financially independent, but on the contrary, commit them to a perpetual state of dependency on government and unable to save a dime for their future. This video will prove how they keep ordinary Americans poor and dependent. You recall in our first video, we mathematically proved that Americans poor and middle class could achieve the American dream without having the education or the tools to make the big bucks, using their own money, and without spending a dime more than they already spend, and then, at 67, retire as millionaires. If you haven't seen that video, please do. What this video will do is show why our Rise Up America plan will work and Obama's plan won't. There are two things you can do with money. You can spend it or you can invest it. Now, our government spends our money. It does not invest it. It annually collects payroll taxes equal to 15.3% of your entire working life income, and immediately spends it on benefits for retired Americans. They don't put your money away in a fund and save it for you. They just spend it. Now, under the Rise Up plan, you invest your money for the future. Under Rise Up, as proven in our first video, your investment of $240,000 in 40 years compounds to a nest egg of $3.2 million. A $3.2 million nest egg generates an average income that will allow you to get a $27,000 a month retirement check and still have the $3.2 million to will to the kids. Those figures tell you what your government and your politicians have been doing to you for over the last 70 years, keeping you poor and dependent and living off just 84.7% of your income. Now let's use a simple example why the government has no nest egg to give you after 40 years. If you send $1 to Washington every year for 40 years, you have invested $40 in a government plan called Social Security, in which at 67 years of age you have nothing to show for that $40 investment. Washington didn't save your $40. It spent it the year you sent it to them. Under Rise Up, that $40 is invested in index stock funds and compounds into $443 in 40 years. Now, if you don't believe that $443 figure, go to your corner office supply store and get a time value calculator and prove it to yourself. Or simpler yet, go to the table on our first video and see how $240,000 compounds into $3.2 million. The difference between how Social Security and Medicare taxes are presently collected and spent illustrate why over 100 million Americans never achieve the American dream. They remain poor and some poverty-stricken simply because their payroll taxes aren't invested for them but spent immediately. If those taxes are put in a personal account owned by the citizen, invested in the American economy, all Americans would be financially secure in their retirement and achieve the American dream. Further, the economy would be stimulated by the infusion of new capital into the market right from the first year of transition. Barack Obama and the Democrats want to protect Social Security and Medicare by perpetuating this irresponsible method of financing retirement. They have a vested political interest in keeping the poor poor and the middle class mired in punitive taxation, as it is the poor and underclass that makes up the base of their party. If people are no longer poor, why would they want to be present-day Democrats? As this video proves, the Democrats are in a holding pattern. They are holding on for dear life. Once you and other Americans become aware of the theft of your birthright to achieve the American dream, that party is toast. Why in the world would any American deny you the right to invest your own money in the American economy and become a millionaire just to keep your vote? Unfortunately, it appears as if the Democrats and the Democrat Party are willing to do that. Barack Obama and the Democratic Party promises a new direction, more taxation of the rich. My friend, when has taxation of the rich ever made the poor wealthy? It may sound good coming from his mouth, but ask yourself, has he embraced Rise Up? Of course not. He is basically a Democrat with a socialist tendency. He emphatically stated that he will protect this criminal confiscation of your birthright, and he's going to do it for your benefit. Of course, it doesn't benefit you one single penny. It keeps you in the socialist type of slavery, which allows the state, the government, to waste your money any way it sees fit. All of you wanting to achieve the American dream can support Rise Up and become millionaires, if not for yourselves, but for your children and grandchildren. This video simplifies the difference between Barack Obama's solution and the Rise Up remedy. So now let me ask you, yes, you, the viewer, what are you going to do about this tragic situation? Do you want to help us improve the lives of all Americans and explode our economy with massive infusions of new capital? Then send us your contributions to the address on the screen or go to our website and contribute by credit card. We are the Ownership Society Institute, registered as a charitable California trust that will be qualified as a charitable organization under Section 501c3 of the Internal Revenue Code. We are a think tank that will be working to make our government more accountable to the people and dedicated to improving the efficiency of that government socially and economically. Our initial efforts will be to mount a cartoon offensive to make our research and beliefs understandable at every level of society. We invite you to join us in this fight. We will need your financial help to make Rise Up a reality and make all our citizens prosperous and happy. Thank you for listening, and we look forward to hearing from you.